Javi Simmons has confirmed his season is over, and with it, so is his dream of playing in the World Cup for his home nation. Tottenham's clash with Chelsea will now move dates, as Chelsea will now participate in the FA Cup final on 16th of May after their victory over Leeds in the semi-final on Sunday. Danso has issued an emotional rallying cry to Tottenham supporters after Saturday's priceless 1-0 win at Wolves. Palhinha believes Tottenham's dramatic victory at Wolves could prove the turning point in their fight for Premier League survival. And a report suggests that Tottenham Hotspur's decision to part company with Ange was a gamble that could yet haunt the club. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines, where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. And please make sure you turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we go live or upload a video to the channel. Okay, let's get into it. As confirmed last night by Fabrizio Romano, Javi Simmons will be out for the rest of the season and the World Cup 2026 with a torn ACL in his right knee. Xavi stated on Instagram, "They say life can be cruel, and today it feels that way. My season has come to an abrupt end, and I'm just trying to process it. Honestly, I'm heartbroken. None of it makes sense. All I've wanted to do is fight for my team, and now the ability to do that has been snatched away from me, along with the World Cup. Representing my country this summer, just gone. I'll take time to find peace with this, but I'll continue to be the best teammate I can be. I have no doubt that together we'll win this fight. I'll walk this path now, guided by faith, with strength, with resilience, with belief, as I count down the days to getting back out there. Be patient with me, Coys." And the club released the following statement this morning. It says, "We can confirm that Javi Simmons has ruptured the anterior cruciate ligament in his right knee. The 23-year-old suffered the injury during the second half of our Premier League fixture at Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday. Javi will undergo surgery in the coming weeks, and following that will then begin his rehabilitation with our medical team. Everyone at Tottenham Hotspur sends Javi our love and support. We will be with him every step of the way." The Standard report that Tottenham's penultimate Premier League fixture of the season against Chelsea has been postponed after the Blues progressed to the FA Cup final. The bitter rivals were scheduled to meet at Stamford Bridge on Sunday, May 17th, in a crucial game for Spurs' bid to stay in the Premier League, as well as the Blues' faint hopes of a top 5 finish. A date for the rearranged fixture between Tottenham and Chelsea is expected to be announced in due course, but it is likely to take place after the FA Cup final. This is because Spurs are in action at home to Leeds on Monday, May the 11th. If the London derby is rearranged for the final week of the Premier League season, then Tottenham will play after relegation rivals West Ham face Newcastle at St James's Park. Danso has issued an emotional rallying cry to Tottenham supporters after Saturday's priceless 1-0 win at Wolves, thanking fans for standing by the team and insisting survival can only be achieved through unity. The Austrian defender, who endured a harrowing week following Tottenham's late collapse against Brighton, played a key role in the hard-fought victory at Molineux as Spurs claimed their first league win of the calendar year. Danso had come under fierce scrutiny after his costly error against Brighton and was then subject to racist abuse on social media, prompting the club to take a public stand in support of the centre-back ahead of the Wolves clash. Tottenham's players showed solidarity with Danso before kick-off by wearing anti-racism shirts, while the travelling support responded in kind by loudly backing the defender throughout the afternoon. Danso repaid that faith with a composed display at the heart of the Spurs defence, helping secure a clean sheet in what could prove to be a defining result in the club's fight for Premier League survival. After the final whistle, the 27-year-old took to Instagram to deliver a heartfelt message to the Spurs faithful, thanking them for their unwavering backing during one of the most difficult periods of the season. Danso told supporters their presence and belief had given the squad the strength to keep pushing, urging everyone connected with the club to remain united for the final 4 games of the campaign. His message was clear: one victory has been secured, but the job is far from done. With Tottenham still locked in the thick of a relegation battle, Danso's words served as both a thank you and a call to arms, a plea for supporters and players to stand shoulder to shoulder in the weeks ahead as Spurs attempt to drag themselves to safety. Palhinha believes Tottenham's dramatic victory at Wolves could prove the turning point in their fight for Premier League survival after revealing a renewed sense of belief inside the Spurs dressing room. The Portuguese midfielder struck the decisive goal in Spurs' 1-0 win at Molineux on Saturday, sealing the club's first league victory of 2026 and handing Roberto De Zerbi's side a vital boost in their battle to avoid relegation. Palhinha said the mood among the players after full-time was one of relief, belief and renewed determination, with Tottenham now facing what he described as 4 finals in the running. Hopefully it changes something, Palhinha said after the match. This victory is much more than that for me, the fans and the whole club. It's not a normal season that we have been living until today. We have responsibility in this season. The goal secured Spurs' first league win in 16 matches and ended a miserable 118-day wait for 3 points. The results elsewhere meant De Zerbi's men remained in the bottom 3 and still 2 points adrift of safety. Despite that, Palhinha insisted the result could yet shift the momentum in Tottenham's favour. We need to do our jobs, he said. Hopefully this win can change things, give us a bit more motivation, as well as it's been a long time without victories. What we can control right now is doing our own job till the end of the season and keeping the club where it belongs, which is in the Premier League. We will give everything we have until the end of the season because it means a lot for us to keep Tottenham in the Premier League. That's good to hear for sure. And Forbes report that Tottenham Hotspur's decision to part company with Ange was a gamble that could yet haunt the club, with a fallout from his departure continuing to shape a troubled campaign in North London. The article argues that Spurs may come to regret the ruthless nature of their managerial change, particularly given how heavily the squad has been built in Postecoglou's image. The report claimed that Tottenham's current squad remains overwhelmingly tailored to the aggressive front foot style Postecoglou introduced to the team, with recruitment under his reign focused on players suited to high pressing, quick transitions and expansive attacking football. That, Forbes suggests, has left Spurs with a squad assembled for one tactical vision, only for the architect of that approach to be removed before the project had fully matured. This points to the wider instability such a decision can create, arguing that Tottenham now risk being caught between 2 identities and have done all season. Players signed specifically to execute Postecoglou's system are now were being asked to play a different approach, raising questions over whether the club acted too soon in abandoning the long-term rebuild under Postecoglou. The piece suggests that while results may have driven the decision, the deeper cost could be a squad no longer aligned with the direction of the management under Thomas Frank. The article presents Tottenham's predicament as one of modern football's most familiar dangers, spending heavily to construct a team around one manager's philosophy, only to remove him before that investment has had time to bear fruit. In doing so, Spurs may have made a brutally decisive call that solves little in the short term and leaves the club facing far more expensive reckoning in the long run. Okay, here's my thoughts on those stories today. Firstly, devastating news about Javi Simmons, not only for the player to miss the rest of the season and of course the World Cup, which, you know, every player wants to play, and of course they do. Just cruel sometimes, football, isn't it? Just so cruel. And yes, look, worse things happen at sea and all that, but to see a player who's been playing well the last few weeks for Tottenham, got back into the team, hailed as our creator-in-chief, obviously with Kulusevski and Maddison still out, and now to lose Simmons. Terrible for the player, but also terrible for Spurs, and such a cruel way to end his season. And just like that, your dreams of playing in the World Cup are gone. it is just shocking news. I'm going to do a video on ACLs anyway, I think, and talking about the injury and how many players have been affected by it at Tottenham, because there are some interesting stats out there. But is it something to do with these new pitches? In my opinion, it possibly is. They're all interwoven with tiny bits of plastic to stop the pitches breaking apart like we used to see in the 70s and 80s. When players slide in, the pitches don't give as easily as they used to do. You know, when you slide, perhaps where you slide in and your studs get caught in the turf. Is that something to do with it? I don't know, but it seems to be a lot more ACLs going around in the Premier League at the moment. As well, not just for Tottenham, and I think a lot of pitches are built to that specification. So yeah, just look, horrible for Simmons, horrible for Tottenham, and we need somebody else to step up now in that creator role, because we've lost another one in that position. So best wishes to Javi, get well soon. The Chelsea game to move, we kind of knew this anyway. We knew Chelsea was going to move if they progressed and beat Leeds. I, for one, wish it was the week before, but as stated, you know, we've got the Leeds ourselves on the Monday night, so I can't see that moving. It's going to be the week between the FA Cup final and the final game of the season. I've heard it could be Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I hope it's something like Tuesday to give us longer to prepare for the Sunday game. Look, who knows what position we're going to be in by then, but it's just typical, isn't it? This Chelsea game, one of the biggest games of the season anyway. A non-happy hunting ground for Spurs, of course, Stamford Bridge, and this game's going to move. We don't know when it's going to be, so just another bit of disruption for Tottenham, because Chelsea are in the FA Cup final, and typically Chelsea sack their manager, who they've been doing rubbish under, just before we play them. So that's really good, isn't it? Anything else going to go wrong this season, honestly? Danso's call to arms and Palhinha, they're both kind of speaking about how important it is for everyone to stay together, stronger together and all that. Good to see Danso have a good game on Saturday, I have to say. Really good for him after the abuse he suffered. No place in football at all, or in life, let's be honest. But both players there speaking well, saying they're staying together, and they all believe, and certainly De Zerbi believes, we can get out of it. But all we can do is take care of our own games. And I'm actually confident if by some miracle we can win the remaining 4 games, we will be out of it, because I don't think West Ham or Forest are going to win their remaining 4 games. So all we can do is take care of ourselves. Yes, we were briefly out of it for 4 or 5 minutes on Saturday. That felt amazing when our heads were slightly above water for a little while, and then back into it. But, you know, it just goes to show how tight it is. So all we've got to do is take care of our business. I say all we've got to do is going to be incredibly difficult now with Xavi out, of course, but all we can do is win our games and hope for the best, because, yes, it's not in our hands, but it kind of is, because, as I say, if we win our 4 games, I think we're out of it anyway. So all we can do is take care of ourselves, game at a time, and hope for the best. And finally, that article from Forbes talking about Postecoglou, basically saying, did we sack him too soon? I was in favour of giving Ange another season. I thought he deserved that. I know this is going over old ground a bit, but the article was very interesting. And basically, I put it in because I think it highlights where the start of the bad decisions at the club came from this season. There's been a whole host of bad decisions. We all know that. And was Postecoglou leaving the first of those bad decisions? Because obviously they didn't get Thomas Frank right. So, and then keeping hold of him far too long. And then the disaster with Tudor as well. So it kind of started last summer. Things started to go downhill. And like I say, for me, not everybody will agree with me, but I think Ange had enough credit in the bank to earn a stab at a 3rd season. Nobody actually knows where we would be had Ange still been in charge. We could have been even worse, but in my thinking, I think we probably wouldn't have been in the position we are now. But look, nobody's ever going to know the answer to that. But it just goes to show, and I only put it in really to highlight how badly decisions have been taken this season on the whole. And yeah, people at the top, you hang your heads in shame, because you've put us in this position. Yes, the players take responsibility, absolutely, but you started this. So you've got to get us out of it somehow. I'm not sure how you do. I think personally, a lot of the people at the top need to go and they need to sell, but that's a discussion for another day. That's all from me today. Get down in the comments, let me know your feelings as a Tottenham Hotspur fan right now, how you felt about that Wolves victory. And as always, come on you Spurs.